Good afternoon, everybody. Dean Williams here, chairperson of the Wheelchair Football Association. I'm joined by a lovely young man called George Barnard. How you doing, George? Good stuff, brilliant. So George and I have the pleasure of watching, sorry for the slight delay, pleasure of watching Norwich City play Villa Rockets Lions and Villa Rockets. I've got my weekends in the muddle there in terms of Championship and Premiership. So we're just joining it as Villa Rockets have just scored, and Bobby Allen, I think, was the goal scorer. George, is that right? Yeah, brilliant. So it's 1-0 to Villa at this moment in time. I just want to take the opportunity as I settle down and get into my role here from a commentary perspective, just thanking very much Optegra. Optegra are the sponsors of the Championship and the Premiership for this season. They've done an outstanding job, and my thanks as always goes to them in terms of what they're able to put on for us and to provide such a fantastic spectacle. For those who are joining us for the first time, you very fortunately are joining the game week 5 of the Premiership, and this is the conclusion of the Premiership season. What a fantastic weekend we have in store as well. George, are you excited? Brilliant, brilliant. So let's pick up some of the action then. So George's, people that are new to this won't know about this, and George's brother, Henry, just had a fantastic chance, and it's just been blocked on the goal line. So Norwich trying to get back into the game. As I said a few moments ago, they are still 1-0 behind at this moment in time. There is 16 minutes left in the first half, so you've joined us fairly early in the game. And the ref seems to have given, I think, clash there. Something happened there, so we've got a penalty to Norwich. This is the perfect opportunity to get them back on level terms. And they have scored it, so we are 1-1 here, which is fantastic news for Norwich to get back into the game so early. Great finish there. Donegan, number 7. So, could you hear me?
Yep.
Brilliant. So George and I just testing with the equipment there. We've just tried something new for the first time. We love that. We keep kind of breaking new ground and tinkering with the equipment. So I can hear George, he can hear me, and I'm hoping that everyone can hear us, which is fabulous. So we are Norwich 1, Villa 1. 5 minutes or so gone in the first half. Free kick, Dave Lewis behind it for Villa. And shoots, and that won't be a goal. It's an indirect free kick, so Bobby Allen was very close to just getting a little nick on that, which would have counted.
Yeah, that would have been a good goal there for Bobby Allen, just slotting it in, but of course it doesn't count.
So still 1-1. How are you doing, George? Anyway, are you good?
Yeah, I'm good, thank you, Dean. How are you?
I'm very good, thank you. Nice, always nice to see you here.
Yeah.
You've always got a smile on your face as well. I'm sure I should talk to your parents about this, but is there ever a time when you're not smiling?
Yes.
But surely you smile most of the time.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, we love that. So just while we're referring here for Norwich City, it remains 1-1. So again, just via our scoreline app, which we can see so many people using, including myself all the time. Again, a shout and a nod towards Jack Humphreys for his brilliance in terms of producing the app. Norwich currently, just for your information, are bottom of the league. This, at the moment, they're on 2 points. If they manage to hold on or better this, would be even better, wouldn't it? But they're currently on 2 points because they're drawing the game. Haven't played 20 games. And in the case of Villa Rockets, they are currently 8th place on 24 points. Again, this is a live table, so that takes into account the current scoreline, and they're tied with Greenbanker in 7th. And just 1 point above them is Sevenoaks on 25 points. So if they manage to win this or have a successful final game week, they could be heading into the top 6, which would be quite an achievement, I think, for Villa in terms of the season.
Yeah, definitely. They've had some new players this season, and I think they'll be very happy with it.
Yeah, definitely. We've seen certain players that have grown. Bobby Allen springs to mind. I think he's just, when you look at his performances this season, he seems to have, again, increased his profile and his quality is starting to shine through.
Yeah, he is a very exciting young talent.
Summer Rice, the shot, intercepted by Donegan. Battling right in the corner, that goes to throw into Villa. Dave Lewis, very experienced Dave Lewis, will be behind this. See if he can work some magic. Lewis crosses. Cut out by Norwich. Found its way back to Lewis though. Tries to find Bobby Allen on the far side. Good defence from Norwich. Been a difficult season for Norwich.
Yeah,
George,
very difficult.
Let's be fair, very difficult season.
Yeah, very difficult. You can see by the table, but I mean, they're still fighting, seeing out the season and probably hoping to get a fresh new start in the Championship.
Well, there's a lot of football to be played, isn't there? But again, tables don't lie, do they? So whether you're at the top or the bottom, they create a narrative and a story, and that's the reality of it. But you can see it's been a tough season. But I love what you said, because you're inside that in terms of the association with your brother Henry, inside that camp a little bit, and you'll know that they've found it extremely tough. But by the same token, they're still here, aren't they, battling away, which is fantastic. And you know, if you are going to face a season in the Championship, these are valuable lessons and learns in terms of staying together as a group, aren't they?
Yeah, exactly like you said. It's a massive learning curve. They're playing more experienced, better players, and it will just help them in the Championship, getting back up to the Prem.
And just for your benefit, George, because I mean, you were used to watching Norwich, and Norwich were fantastic last season in the Championship and managed to get themselves into the playoff position and then won that playoff. And I think, you know, to a few people were quite surprised that they won that playoff. What would you say? You've watched an awful lot of power chair football. What do you think is the biggest difference between the Premiership and the Championship?
I think it is it's just way more competitive. There's a sense of like, oh, I have to win this. Like, if I don't know what will happen. And it's just like, there's a lot more pressure on your shoulders. But then a lot of people are more up for it. So it depends what your mindset really is.
Yeah, I think the people often talk about the pace, don't they? The pace is different.
Yeah, the pace, it's just like a pinball machine. The ball goes from one side of the pitch to the other.
Yes, and actually I've got, that's a perfect link to a special guest that we have with us today, Marina. To my right, you won't be able to see her on screen, but she is sitting, she's not got a headset on, but she's sitting right next to me and watching power chair football for the first time, and I think she would say the same thing, the pace, the competition. She's nodding. Those kind of things, they're just quite startling when you see what these players and athletes are able to do in these chairs. Just quite extraordinary to watch. Right, we're still 1-1 here. Halfway through the first half. And it's a goal kick to Villa. Dave Lewis on the ascendancy, using all of his experience, but Donoghue is close attendance and making that very difficult. Lewis still has the ball. Summer Rice moves away. That's a brilliant ball from Bobby Allen to Summer Rice. Back to Lewis. Oh, that's superb defending there from Norwich City, just to make sure that Summer Rice, lurking at the far post, wasn't on the end of that, which would have led to a very good scoring opportunity. Say Hannah Murgatroyd has been on sharp defensive duty so far. She's making a lot of blocks, making it very awkward for Villa to penetrate through.
Yeah, in the last couple of weeks, she has really improved under Mike Doneghue.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's really changed her game, and she's much more sharp and good at getting the ball out if she's under pressure.
Yeah, nice. Battle in the middle of the court. Lewis has come out on top of that. Allen, superb pass across. Summer Rice just glimpsed that glanced it. It's gone off for a... We've got a corner here. No, right in the corner. We have a throw into kick into Norwich. Great chance for Summer Rice. Brilliant ball from Bobby Allen. We've just been talking about him. And right on cue, he does something special like that. Just turning attention, just very briefly, George, to the top of the table. My goodness me. It's tight, isn't it?
Yeah, very tight. It looks like Teesside are at the top at the moment. 19 games played with 48 points.
Yeah.
While Leeds have 46, West Brom have 45, and 18 games played.
And Newcastle close
As
behind,
well, yeah.
who are currently on court with Aspire. 43 points, Aspire 41. I mean, whatever happens, what a season.
Yeah.
Extraordinary season. You know, as chairperson of the Wheelchair Football Association, with a completely unbiased head on, we want it to be like this.
Yeah.
But I'm walking around today in the Lee Westwood Arena where we're playing the games, and the tension from players, fans, parents, carers, I mean, it really is noticeable. It's going to be like that for the best part of the next 2 days. And I have the pleasure of presenting the Premiership trophy to someone tomorrow, George. I've got no idea who I'm presenting that to.
Yeah, it could be anyone.
Good, couldn't it? So somebody's going to be in for a treat tomorrow. Chance for Norwich, blocked by Villa this time. This has been a pretty even game, George.
Yeah, very even at the moment. 1 goal on each side, 1 penalty and 1 open play goal.
Yeah. Interesting battle. I mean, again, we talked about the league positions, but you wouldn't necessarily guess at who is the more struggling team this season. Not on this performance.
Yeah.
A long way to go in power chair football, but there's just over 5 minutes left of the first half, and it is pretty even. That was close.
Very close.
Chance. Bobby Allen again trying to get on the end of that. Long range shot just wide of the post. I think Hannah will tell us she had it covered. So 1-1 here. And if you want an update on the score on the other pitch, Aspire 1, Newcastle United Foundation 2. Both kicked off roughly the same time. So big game on the other court. But George and I enjoying this one.
And talking about tightness in the table, it is very tight in the 9th, 10th and 11th positions, where you've got Middlesbrough and Nottingham with 9 points, West Bromwich Albion with Throssels with 10. It is very tight, and I'm pretty sure Middlesbrough are playing one of those teams.
Yeah, I had a quick look at the fixtures. I mean, it's one of those weekends where you don't want to take your eyes off any of it, but of course your eyes can't be everywhere, so you really do have to use something to keep up to date with everything that's going on. But no, you're absolutely right, that's very tight, isn't it? For our listeners on the significance of that, the bottom 2 from the Championship will automatically be relegated, and then outside of that we've got the team that finishes in 10th place, so 3rd from bottom, goes into a playoff against the 3rd place team in the Championship, which concluded last week. So I don't know if you watched any of that, George, but that was Teesside Steel. So Teesside Steel will play in the playoff against, it looks like, doesn't it, either West Bromwich Albion Throssels, Nottinghamshire or Middlesbrough, one of those teams. And the winner of that, we have Dave Lewis there. I think that, again, another long-range effort, and Norwich probably for the first time they left themselves a little bit open and exposed. The tightness that we talked about, George, wasn't quite there, and Dave Lewis has finished that off and drilled that into the corner. So it's been a very even game, but it's 2-1 to Villa. So Norwich have to get themselves back in the game. Just over 3 minutes left in the first half. See what Norwich can do. With Barnard with the ball across. Doniger's battling with Lewis. That will be a feature, I'm sure, the rest of this game. done well there, coming away with the ball and won themselves. No, it's been given to Norwich. Two officials saw that one slightly different, but it is, I can confirm, a Norwich kick in. Donovan behind it. Again, blocked by Villa, who will be very keen to get to half-time with this 1-goal advantage. 2-1 to Villa. This time it is a throw into Villa. Dave Lewis to Bobby Allen. Summer Rice on the end of that, slightly behind her. Allen's got it back again. Rice up, fantastically worked goal. And that's exactly what Norwich didn't want, approaching half-time, but it's 3-1 to Villa. Decent move, George. I'm not sure if you've had a clear view of that. Very decent move, found its way to Summer Rice, and when Bobby Allen played that ball across to Summer Rice, when she started to rotate the chair,
everyone knew.
You
yeah,
knew,
it
didn't
was
you?
going in.
You just knew. Part of the quality of power chair football is chair positioning. That's a massive understatement, and anticipation of when that ball comes across. If you're already starting to rotate that chair, you're going to connect with that very cleanly, and that's going to only end up in one place. That's the back of the goal. So 3-1 Villa. I think this is slightly harsh on Norwich, George, I have to be honest.
Yeah, but I mean, if you do have a bit of sloppy defending or anything like that, you will get punished in the Premiership.
You're a harsh critic.
I am.
But it's true. It is true. It's one of those things. I think I'd call it unforgiving.
Yeah.
You don't get, if you mess up, if you're not quite on it, you just get exposed, don't you? And quite often in the Premiership we see teams that the games are tight, 1 goal goes in, and then if you're just momentarily not with it, another goal can easily be scored. We see that quite a lot. So we've got literally seconds left in the first half. The game on the other court is at half-time already. Aspire 1, Newcastle United Foundation 2. Which again, as the table stands, puts Newcastle in 4th place on 43 points. And Aspire at the moment in 5th place on 41 points. Norwich just trying to get something back again. But we've got a late free kick here to Villa. We're over regulation time. So this possibly is the last chance of the half. Dave Lewis, as always, is behind this. Will use every ounce of his experience. Exactly the same as what they tried a little bit earlier in the half, actually, with Bobby Allen trying to get a flick on the indirect free kick. Didn't happen. Norwich defended that one really well. And we've got to half-time. So the half-time score is Villa 3, Norwich City 1. Work to do for Norwich. For Villa, I think the best way to describe how they've been in the first half is clinical.
Yeah.
They've just taken chances, haven't they, George?
Yeah, they've been using their chances and they've taken them.
Yeah, 100%. George and I will be back. We'll be joining you for the second half of this one, and we'll see you very, very soon.
Yep, that's one.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
I can hear you.
Good.
Right, we're back in business. Right, so join us for the second half. I looked like the players there were coming out, and they've decided to go back and have an extra team talk. Very inconvenient of them. Ah, there we go.
There we go, yeah.
So we're now about to get the second half underway. So you join us with Villa beating, at the moment, Norwich 3-1. Work to do for Norwich. Villa got smiles on their faces, so I think they look fairly comfortable in terms of where they feel they're at, but that can often catch teams out in power chair football at this elite level. So let's see what Norwich have got in them in terms of trying to claw their way back in the game. Joined by George on commentary.
Hello, Dean.
Hello, sir. George got very close to showing his pictures there or video footage of him having tried power chair football. I didn't actually see them myself. I refused to show him any video evidence, of which there are a couple of bits around me going into a chair to actually demonstrate that I know what I'm doing on power chair football from a playing perspective. I don't. They are terrible videos to look at. Not an endorsement for the quality that we see at this level. Dave Lewis nudges the ball. That's a great pass from Lewis. Lewis gets it back again. First real chance there for Villa. Who defended very well in the first half in the main, but a couple of lapses of concentration really hurt Norwich.
Yep.
Ball's come across Dave Lewis. He's not gonna not take those kind of opportunities. So unfortunately for Norwich, it's not been long in the second half. Just about a minute and a half just undergone, and that's the fourth goal for Villa. Finished beautifully by Dave Lewis. Bit of strength in depth for Villa. If you look at their squad, they've made a couple of changes right at the start of the second half, George, haven't they? So Amir Ali and Liam Lynch already been heavily involved in that, and it's already led to another goal. So they have a very nice situation, don't they, where they can make changes, put players on,
and score more goals.
And there's the impact. So Liam Lynch now, who really has impressed since he's come into the Premiership, trying to make something happen. It's not quite worked out that time. Dave Lewis has the ball again. Lynch now winding up for the shot.
And there he goes.
And there's another goal. It's the fifth, and that's 2 goals in quick succession now. This is what Villa can do. They are incredibly, I use the word clinical, and that is continuing to happen. So exactly the same thing when Summerrise scored in the first half. The moment that ball found its way to Liam Lynch, anticipation, winding up with the chair straight away, strokes it into the corner, never in any doubt. And yeah, hard to see a way back for Norwich in this one now, George.
There's definitely no way coming back for Norwich, but I mean, all they can do now is fight.
Yeah, exactly that. It's always something you can take from football, you know, even in difficult situations.
I think you can take it's your mindset. If you have a great mindset, you will, I'd say most of the time you would go out there playing well. If you make a mistake, you'll brush it off and you'll just keep on going. And a mindset when you're losing, like Norwich are now, and fighting still.
And I'm gonna ask the question, which I don't want it to be delivered really poorly. Just remind me of your age, George.
I am 13.
A 13-year-old George Barnard has just talking so much sense about the importance of mindset, and I'm sure everybody would be listening attentively to that. And you're absolutely right, George. That is what it's about, isn't it? And that's the bit, really, isn't it? If things aren't going your way on the court, so to speak, in the example of our sport, then you've got your mindset and you've got opportunity, and unfortunately for Norwich, that's the sixth one that's gone in, and it feels like we're watching carbon copies, George, of the same goal.
Yes.
Pretty much, it's the same move every time, and I think I don't not want to be overcritical there, but there's a consistency around the move that's happening and the way that the goals are being finished, and maybe that's something for Norwich to deep delve and have a look at. But
Yeah.
no, I just want to continue that thought process about the mindset. That is everything, isn't it? And when times are tough, as they say, one of my favourite quotes is "Dawn only breaks after the darkest hour." And sometimes you get to levels, and those levels are clearly not where you want to be, and then you've got a decision to make about where you want to put your energy and put your focus. And Norwich, it's a strange thing to say. They'll be, in some ways, they've got a chance to be better for this season. They would have learned a lot about themselves, but that's about mindset, isn't it? That is about the way that you choose to determine even difficult situations. Very well said, George. Back in the game, we're 5 minutes, just a fraction over gone in the second half, and a game that was probably flattering Villa a little bit. Half-time 3-1 has very, very quickly become 6-1, and they have been exceptional in the second half, and those changes seem to have made a huge difference for Villa.
Well, yeah. As you can see by the scoreline, they've just scored 3 in quick succession.
Yeah. They have another corner now. Liam Lynch is behind this one. Ball goes across.
Oh.
So exactly the same outcome nearly there with Dave Lewis.
I was just about to say, and there he goes and slots it in.
Yes. But, you know, credit where credit's due. This is
Yeah.
the bit we saw for most of the first half, where Norwich had a systematic approach to defending and were blocking quite a lot. There was just didn't go on long enough, did it, George, to frustrate Villa?
Yeah.
But had they have maintained that, I think it would have frustrated Villa a little bit. But now we're seeing Villa, I mean, when you're 6-1 up, you've got the luxury of being able to try stuff, and if it doesn't come off, it doesn't matter. It's not the end of the world. So they've created that for themselves, haven't they, now? Kick into Villa on the far side. It's going to roll out of play, so Norwich will get the chance to start something. To Villa. Lewis again winding up the chair to get across, trying to find Liam Lynch, doesn't quite work out. Comes a Medea. The kick in, Lewis is battling, trying to work something through here. And he's trying to force the issue here. Defended by Donoghue at the moment. Seems to have got rid of the immediate danger. Should congratulate Dave Lewis in this game, George. Apologies, that's me missed a lot going on at the same time there, but he's managed to get himself a hat-trick, Dave Lewis, and as I say that, Liam Lynch has just bagged another goal as well, which is his second of the game, so this is running away from Norwich City now. Villa Rockets 7-1 up. 3 goals to Dave Lewis, 2 now for Liam Lynch, 1 for Bobby Allen and 1 for Summer Rice. If you're a Villa fan, it makes very good reading, George.
Yeah.
So Norwich again about to start. No two ways about it. Tough season. Just keeping listeners up to date with what's happening on Court A. Aspire 1, Newcastle United Foundation 3. So they've increased their lead. Been a tough start to the day for Aspire.
Yeah, I mean, very tough. I was watching Norwich play on Court A, but I saw on Court B, was it Teesside, who beat Aspire by a whopping 3-0.
Yeah.
Which will have hurt Aspire, and then this game as well, hurting them even more.
Yeah. Yeah, I think it's but still plenty to play for. I mean, I had the pleasure of being out for the latter stages of the Club World Cup, the inaugural Club World Cup, where Aspire and West Brom will be representing England. So they have a big trophy in that, and then that's followed by, when we leave there on the Saturday, the Sunday, as one of our biggest days in our calendar, which is the John Good Group WFA Cup final as part of the FA's Disability Cup weekend. The cup final between Aspire and West Bromwich Albion. So plenty to play for them still, but it's in the league, you know, by their own high standards. When we look at someone like John Boulding, that's just a supreme power chair football athlete, ultimately, it's going to get tough for them, I think, to get that crown if the result stays like this against Newcastle United. But it's been so close, isn't it?
Yeah.
So tight. Substitution for Norwich. They had a chance while we were talking about Spire and what they've got left to play for. Norwich had a chance there, which was defended. It would have been some reprieve from the pressure from Villa and got them a second goal, but it wasn't to be. Liam Lynch going through on goal, trying to nudge that across. That could find its way to Summer Rice. It hasn't. Thomas Donoghue has blocked that one out. Norwich putting something together now. It's not quite materialised with a chance, but they've still got the ball. Very latterly that Bobby Allen has just played a long pass up the field. Summer Rice swinging it. Not really a miss because she connected, but it wasn't going to trouble anyone.
She just edged it and it's gone out for, yep, looks like a kick in right in the corner for Norwich.
Which they have taken, and Thomas Donoghue is progressing forward on the court.
He's done well to get out there.
He has. And he's gone right the length of the court pretty much. Bobby Allen. Ali are trying to thwart him. They've managed to do that. Bobby Allen actually comes away with the ball. He's now faced with Thomas Donoghue. Thomas Donoghue has done very well there to keep battling and come away with that. But again, it's found its way back to Villa again. Summer Rice trying to get that ball through to Bobby Allen. And Norwich do have the ball in the net, but it's not going to count. The referee had already pulled it back for an infringement, so they have to start again, but they do have possession. Progressing quite far up the pitch. Norwich have defended that, but Bobby Allen is first to react. Liam Lynch hits the ball against Thomas Donoghue's chair, and that will go out for a corner kick to Aston Villa. Still 7 minutes to go, so there is time for Villa to add to their 7-1 advantage, but by the same token, there is also opportunity for Norwich to get some stuff from the game. If you referred to that mindset, George, I suggest that's very much where we are now, isn't it, with Norwich?
Yeah, that is. And I think Norwich will want to learn from this game because they are playing Middlesbrough tomorrow, who are, I think they are second to bottom, if I'm right.
That's right.
Yep, so that will be another tight game, which Norwich, of course, will want to win. Yeah. To get that just first win of the season. Yeah. That's probably their target.
Yeah, that's the... And you know, when you talk about things like that, it feels the strange thing to say in terms of a goal or a target, but why not? You know, you want to... Back to mindset, you want to start to think about small successes.
You want something to play for, ideally.
Yeah. No, agreed. Hannah Mogator, not for the first time today, has made a block there. It's an interesting one because we've referenced it a few times, George, but if structurally they're sound, they can defend Norwich, and they
Yeah.
can make it awkward for teams. But whatever that's down to, it's not being maintained for a long enough period of
Yeah.
time. So the results therefore are not going for them. It's becoming quite challenging. Are you going to the end of season awards, George?
Yes, I am.
There you go. Love that. So for a reminder for people there, and I believe the event sold out, and it was fantastic, the venue last year at Leicester City's King Power Stadium. We've kind of jazzed that up a little bit in terms of new things that we're offering as part of the evening, but what a fantastic night of celebration for all of the athletes, the players, but indeed the entire community. So, you know, I remember Henry scooping some awards last year and you standing next to me, and one of the things I always love about your relationship with your brother George is you allowed him to go up and receive the awards, and there was me right by the side of you saying, you can go up if you want to, and you went, no, let's let him have his moment. That makes you an outstanding brother, George, that. Does he tell you that?
No, never.
Dreadful. I'll have a word with him. You keep being as nice as that. That's the way to be. Right, corner kick for Norwich. Can they produce another opportunity here? There, chance there, but there's free kick. I think that free kick's going to go to Norwich.
Yeah.
It is. So there still remains another opportunity here. Just over 4 minutes to go. It would be, from Norwich perspective, I'm sure they'd be very keen to grab another goal here.
It'll be interesting what they're doing here. It looks like they're putting Johan in to get a touch.
Yeah, so this is similar to what didn't work out for Villa on a couple of occasions in the first half, where they were an indirect free kick, tried to get a touch on the goal line. Let's see if Norwich can do better. And they have done exactly that, and the touch was there. Oh, and this remains
like
a chance. Oh, Edwards with a big chance then, but before that, they actually had possibly one of their better chances since they scored from the penalty spot. Again, defended by Villa.
Yeah.
Villa have got defensive quality, as we know. I always think one of the most, and it's not for any other reason that you don't hear his name mentioned that often, but Bubba Ali, as I would call him, just literally defensively a very, very experienced player. He's been around for a long, long time and knows how to defend. Just marshals his troops very well.
Yeah, I think that's one of the hardest things to do, just to learn how to block the goal and not to concede any. Because at the end of the day, if you don't concede any, the worst you can go away with is a point.
There you go. Something about that blueprint, George. You should do this more often, you know.
Yeah.
You should do this a lot more often.
I'll be up for it.
Are you doing some more at the weekend?
Hopefully.
Yes, please do. You're making a very late entrance for Commentator of the Year, potentially, look. Summer Rice with a chance, this time where she's finished previously today. That was blocked by Norwich. Norwich come away with the ball. Just under 2.5 minutes to go. It's 3-1 at half time, it's 7-1 currently, but it's remained 7-1 for some time. So Norwich have stemmed the tide a little bit, haven't they? You know, that may be an element of perhaps Villa not putting their foot on the gas as perhaps much as what they were to have got themselves a 7-1 advantage, but credit where credit's due, they've stemmed the tide a little bit. Bobby Allen in defensive mode. So Power Chair football played over 40 minutes, 20 minutes each half, and the last goal, the 7th goal for Villa, was scored after 27 minutes. So actually we are progressing towards quite an amount of time where they've not managed to breach the Norwich defence. So that bit you talked about, mindset, it's a strange thing to talk about when you're on the receiving end of a 7-1 scoreline, but as I say, 27 minutes ago, that's when they scored the 7th goal, and Norwich they've not given up, and they've continued to have one or two moments the last few minutes of the game.
Yeah.
Nottingham fighting out for possession. That's going to go for a Norwich throw. We are seconds of regulation time remaining. 7-1 to Villa. Game is finished on court A. I'm not sure what the score was there in the end. It was 3-1 to Newcastle United Foundation. It looks like they were victorious.
Yeah, from the expressions it does look like that.
Doesn't it? Let me nudge my co-commentators. Nudge them, George. Ask what the score was.
What was the score? Okay, so it was a 4-1 to Newcastle on court A.
Thank you very much, Charlie. You were so efficient with the stream, it went off, so we couldn't see the final score there, Charlie. Thank you very much for confirming that. So 4-1 to Newcastle. That puts them in still fighting and in a strong position. Back on here, we have literally reached the end of regulation time. 7-1 to Villa, and they are still looking to nick something in the very, very dying embers of the game. Norwich will be keen to make sure that isn't the case, but Bobby Allen pushed the ball forward to Lynch. Lynch is in a good position, but it's been very well defended by Norwich and cut out, so we are looking like, depending on how much is added on, this may well finish with Villa 7-1 to the good. A late free kick for Norwich, but it's not going to impact anything in terms of the score. Let's see how this one materialises. Cross to Edwards. Edwards back across. Didn't quite get its intended target. Good block from Donaher. And that's the final action of the game. So Villa Rockets 7, Norwich City 1. It feels like a brutal scoreline. 3-1 at half time. They added 4 goals in the second half. It ended up being a dominant performance. I mean, it's like power chair football sometimes doesn't tell the whole story of the moments that are in that game. Norwich actually, for the lion's share of the first half, were very competitive. Then it all kind of fell apart, and when Villa made their subs at the start of the second half, the game just completely went away from Norwich. Would you think that's fair, George?
Yep, I'd say that's completely fair. Yeah,
so brutal result. George, you've been an absolute superstar as always. I've enjoyed commentating with you. Have you enjoyed commentating with me?
Yeah, I have.
This is good. So we look like a bit of a dream team now.
Yeah.
If we say that in front of Greg Baxter, by the way, he'll get very upset because he likes to say that him and I are a bit of a dream team, but let's whisper it.
Okay.
I thought we did really, really well. So we'll join listeners again, no doubt, later in the day for some more Power Chair football. Thank you, George.
Yep, thank you.